the inventress. How did it all begin?
How did it begin? It began when I was, my last recollection, or I should say my first recollection of developing products was when I was probably about 9 years old. I was solution oriented back then. And when I say solution oriented, I tried to come up with solutions to problems that I was having with things. They weren't even problems. The example is, growing up in Brooklyn in the house, I loved playing handball. We played outside sports. And I have to say, my shoelaces were a big dilemma. I would have to tie my shoelaces before I went outside with my sneakers, my Converses or my Keds back in the day, tie my shoelaces and go play. And that to me was a lot of time and energy and work, right? So I said, you know what, I gotta find a way to not tie my shoelaces, because this is taking at least 3 minutes out of my time. Or actually not even 3 minutes, it was probably 30 seconds to tie your shoelaces, right? So I came up with a solution so that I didn't have to tie my shoelaces. I was like, I'm gonna come up with a solution to keep my shoelaces tied so I don't have to tie them every single time I put on my sneakers. So that was my first stint into really thinking about the fact, but going back and thinking, okay, so that's definitely a solution to a problem that a lot of people like myself, kids like myself at the time had. Because they were all about getting outside and playing. We weren't on computers. We didn't have all this action happening. We didn't have all of this. We were outside, we were playing handball and doing all of those different things. So, yeah, so my first, when I think back to the first invention, it was all about just making things simple, tying my shoelaces and just not wanting to do that anymore and just making it simple. So yeah, so that was the first thing, that was the first product that I came up with in terms of an invention. What was it? My shoelaces. Not having to tie my shoelaces and running out of the house, keeping them stiff and going to go do my thing.
Did you know at that moment that this was something that would turn into a career? Like, did you know you were an inventor?
I did not know I was an inventor. No, it was just something that I
Natural.
did. It was just something I did. I mean, my sister and brother they knew how I was. My parents knew how I was. It was like, maybe it was like an OCD thing for them looking back at me, but I was like, okay, we don't have to accept this. Mm-hmm. Let's fix this issue. Let's make it simple. Let's make it faster. Let's make it work for everybody. And they just accepted me the way I was. So was it a thing? I mean, I think the same way you see an artist who paints, they paint and they come up with different designs. My brain worked that same way, but with products and things that were around me.
Were you improvising in school and at home, or was it more so in one specific instance, one specific place?
I improvised everywhere. I looked at everything. I looked at the world so differently that anything that was in front of me, that wasn't working, it didn't make sense to me. I would say, okay, so why, for example, is this so difficult to open like this? Why am I, this is just an example, hypothetical. Like, let's make this something that's easier to open. Let's use elastic instead of string, so I'm not forcing this thing to open. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's my whole life, and I've always done that. So it was in every genre, everywhere I went, every part of my life was that. I was constantly modifying things that were not simple. Not every single thing. Some things were perfect, but to me, I mean, my life was all about improvising and making things more accessible. I mean, things that people should be able to utilize easier than they were.
Did that ever get you in trouble? Did you ever try to improvise things so much so that maybe a teacher said to you, Lisa, stop trying to change the classroom? Like in a funny way, because...
Oh, yeah. Always!
Yeah.
Always. Because then...
Or your parents, Lisa, can we just sit down and eat dinner? Do you have to utilize and move around all the kitchen utensils and make your own, you know?
That's a really good question. And you're absolutely right. I did that all the time, and I still do it today. You know, every single day. And especially on Saturday mornings. Like, Phil, I drive him crazy. I said, okay, mental solution for a problem. I said, every single Saturday, honestly, is when I can really express myself and write things down because I have more time. I give myself a day off on Saturday mornings. So to get back to your question, yes. You know, I would be in a classroom and I would look at things and go, you could probably make your life easier and everybody, all 38 students in this Brooklyn classroom, a lot easier if you just did it like this. So yes, I would always have solutions to things that, not every single thing, because I mean, some, like as I said, some things are made to work. If they weren't working and you're why should you struggle to do anything that you do? Fix it. Come up with a solution to the problem that's haunting you and just fix it.
When did it come to a point where you thought, you know what, this is a business. I can monetize. I can make a lot of money doing this, and I love it.
When I had children. It came to a solution monetizing it was when I had children.
Okay.
Because I mean, a lot of you moms out there will know, when you're pregnant, when you have children, being a woman, because you know how great we are as women, we're constantly coming up with solutions. So my first product, as you guys may know, was a breastfeeding cape. So my breastfeeding cape was and is a product that went around you so that you could literally have on your clothing that you could take off and have this cape that covered you so you were able to nurse your children. So that was the first product that I actually monetized. No, I have to back that up. I monetized products when I was in junior high school. I would wear necklaces to school that had different things hanging off of them, and I would do shoelaces and all of these things. And my schoolmates would say, "Where did you get that? Where could I buy that?" And I started selling my merchandise back then. And even then, I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur. It was just what I did. I mean, I mowed lawns, and I did a lot of things as a kid. You know, I mean, this is where I love Damon John, because we have a very, very similar story. Damon was all about always like creating and selling, and I don't know what his mindset was. He tells a great story, but mine was just coming up with solutions for problems like that everybody had, that everybody faced. And then when people started asking me where they could buy it, I was like, sure, I love buying my albums on the weekends. Back in the day, my 75s and 33s. I'm giving away my age by saying that, by the way. Yeah, so I used my change, my money, the money that I made to go and buy the albums that I wanted. And
it was your side hustle.
Go to concerts. It was my side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know the whole entrepreneurship thing is new. Did you have your own business? Yeah. My father did. My mom did. Yeah, they had their own business. But it was like, we're entrepreneurs. They just made money. And they knew how to like run a household and make sure that their children had everything that they wanted and needed. And so yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I always just made money as a kid. Had a piggy bank. You guys know about me with my piggy banks. I love saving money because I like doing things. I like buying shoes, which you guys know. So I always had a piggy bank to do anything that I wanted. So to answer your question, entrepreneurship was always in my veins, ran through my blood.
What was the first product that you purposely monetized as an adult, I guess, when you had your kids now? What was the first big thing that you said, you know what, I'm going to take off with this?
Okay, so that was the Bosom Buddy. So the first product I came up with that I literally monetized on the market, in retail, was my Bosom Buddy breastfeeding cape. And I talked about that a little bit before, but so it was a breastfeeding cape that went over my clothing that I was able to breastfeed in public. And the reason I came up with this is, believe it or not, I was very shy and very embarrassed to nurse my children in front of anybody, including my parents. So I came up with this product that I said, you know what? I need to nurse my children, obviously. They need to eat. And the way I was doing it was naturally. And I came up with this product, the Bosom Buddy breastfeeding cape, that I actually said, you know what? I'm using this. I know that I'm not the only one who needs this product and who's, not the only one who's embarrassed to do this. I need to create this product. So I manufactured it and I sold it in thousands of stores across the country. The Bosom Buddy breastfeeding cape. Say that 5 times fast, guys. I dare you.
What was the thought process going into it? Because I'm sure you had, your mind was going crazy. You had a marketing plan kind of in your head in place of, where's the first stop we're going to kind of hit on with this product? Walk us through that process. Where did you want it to go? Where did it end up? Elaborate on that.
Sure. So, of course, I said, okay, what's the market? Obvious market. And millions of women are having babies every single day. So my first stop was mother care, like mother care stores, maternity stores. So I went literally door to door to maternity stores, and I said, you know what? And this, believe me, back in the day, there was no. This was Yellow Pages. This is let your fingers do the walking. This wasn't get on your laptop and email somebody. That didn't exist. And again, I'm telling you guys how old I am. But anyway, but proud, very, very proud. So I went through the Yellow Pages and I started looking for different maternity stores. And I said, okay, who's going to need this? Mommies are going to need this. New moms are going to start thinking about how they're going to nurse their children. So that was my first stop, going to these maternity stores. And that's where I began, and started looking at hundreds and hundreds of maternity stores across the country, and wrote letters, handwritten letters to all of these managers and said, will you try it out? I sent out samples. They tried out samples. They loved it. And to this day, my same clients keep coming back and asking me about the Bosom Buddy.
Now, talk about rejection, because I'm sure everyone you reached out to wasn't like, oh yeah, sure, we'll put 55 of them on the shelf.
You know what, I gotta tell you something. I love that reality. I love the no reality. Yes. Did I get no's? Absolutely. Over and over again. And in many interviews, I say this to you over and over again, that I love no. I love no so much. Because it inspires me. It tells me, okay, so you're doing something wrong, number one. Am I not addressing it correctly? Am I not giving them the proper sell sheet? Am I not selling myself? Because it's important to introduce yourself before you introduce your product, right? You come with the package. So that was giant. I mean, yes, I got a lot of no's. And for every no, I analyzed what I said in my conversation to that person, in the letter that they received, and in the rejection letter that I received. And I never took no for an answer. Never took no for an answer. I never just said, okay, put their letter away. I was like, hello, Mrs. Smith. And may I ask you what you didn't like about the product? And why does this product not belong in your store? And many times they would explain what the circumstances were. And so, at some point I had to say, okay, I get it. I understand it. And then I went again, Mrs. Smith, once again, give me more information about why you don't want my product in your store. And that went on a little bit. And then I move on. And I got to tell you something. Sometimes I made modifications and changes to my packaging or to my verbiage or my language, however I approach that person, because I always look at myself too. Take a look at what I could do better. So, so a lot of no's, a whole lot of no's, until there was that one yes. And that one yes gave me the opportunity to say, guess where I am now? I'm in this store. And they would say, oh, you're in that store? How about coming into this store? And that's how it perpetuates. And it's a domino effect. And you're in one place, and you become more confident, more and more confident. My product is here and there. So yes, no's are awesome to me because I get inspired to fix whatever I think I may be doing wrong.
Best advice you would give to someone today who might be getting some negative feedback. You know, they might have a product they're trying to launch, or maybe they have a business idea they're trying to launch, and they're getting a lot of no's, and now they feel very discouraged. What do you tell that person?
I tell that person to get into your space alone. Don't listen to all of the negativity. No, actually, let me back that up. Listen to the negativity. Write it down. What is the feedback you're getting? And who is it coming from? Who is your demographic and your audience? And who are you getting those no's from? Take a look at all of it, write it all down, and try to make a change. Because everybody can't be necessarily wrong, but they're not necessarily right about what they're telling you. A lot of buyers just have, they have a job to do, and they may automatically say no because it's not a category they're looking to bring in. So it's not always you, it's not your product. So take a look at what you're doing, what your product is, reevaluate yourself, and understand you took a lot of steps to get to this space. Your product is amazing. It's amazing. You did you did everything right. Make sure you focus it on that and don't take all of the negative in, because you know that when you got to a space when you have a product that's packaged and you're pitching it, you did something right. So go back, reevaluate everything, and say, you know what? I'm on my hustle. Everybody's not going to like what I'm doing. They're not all going to love it. Those who don't love it, I'm going to try to convince them as much as I can. But keep it moving. You're doing a great job. Keep it moving, and you will get that one yes that will inspire and motivate you. Keep it moving. Don't let it get you down. And hang around with positive people. The people who will love and inspire you and not just give you lip service. The people who know you've got a great product. Hang around with those people, and believe me, you'll get re-motivated, re-inspired, because I do the same thing. I get down on myself. Believe me, I get down on myself. I get a lot of no's. Still, being the inventress, I get no's. I get rejections for products that I pitch. I pitch other people's products all the time. And it's disappointing, but you gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving.
Speaking of positive people, you seem to have a very confident personality. I think it's safe to say you have a good head on your shoulders. Mm-hmm. Where does that stem from? Do you have one or two or even 3 or 4 major role models in your life?
I am so blessed to have had the best role models ever. My mother, my mom, Pauline Williams. The greatest role model in my life, the person who inspired me and showed me how to be a young lady first, and to have respect for other people, and to be transparent and be honest. My mom, my dad, raised with West Indian parents. My grandmother, who was just such a great motivator, a healer, helped other people. You know, when anybody was down, she picked them up. My brother and my sister, just my children. I mean, so it's endless for me. And I'm very blessed, and I know that I'm very, very fortunate to have had all of these people in my life, and still do. My children, amazing children, and you know, thank God my sister and my brother are still around and continue. We motivate each other and lift each other up, as I say, 2 hands at a time, all the time, because we do get down. When you see me up and all going all crazy on social media, it's not always like that. I'm not always up. This is behind the scenes. Let me tell you something. Today, by the way, was a tough day. And I had to lift myself up. And I had to call my sister and say, Ange, okay, stuff happened today. What do I do? And my sister said, Lisa, focus. You know, count on the Lord God. You know. Ask him, ask yourself. You know that what you're doing is you're doing all of the right things. So make sure you remember that, because you can get caught up in the space that you're in. Like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Why did that not work out for me? And this is real. This is the real deal. And you guys out there need to know that. It's not always perfect. It's not always what you did wrong. Reach out to that person who can lift you up and inspire you, because we all need it. We all need it. Social media is a place where you see all greatness about people all the time. My relationship is great. I'm making lots of money. It's all perfect. Lies. Not true. We all have down days. We all have down days. But hang around with people who can lift you and inspire you, lifting you up 2 hands at a time. And as I say, sometimes you gotta use your foot, right? Okay, so I hope I answered that question for you.
That was great. That was great. Now, following the Bosom Buddy, I mean, because you've had hundreds of inventions come in and out of your life, and a lot of super successful ones. What are some of your favorite inventions you've ever created? Doesn't necessarily have to be yours. Love to hear about yours, but even some of your clients. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But touch on some of your favorites and why they're your favorites.
So I'm going to talk about one of mine. So staying home, because you can see my personality. I'm always going. I'm moving. We have the Association of Women Inventors and Entrepreneurs, and we're always coming up with ways to help other people. One of my favorite products, I have to say, my favorite products in terms of how quickly it sold was my product called the Perfect Pockets. So I was home one day for 8 hours, organizing and cleaning and making things happen in my home. And I was having a hard time finding a space for my Tupperware lids. So I used shoe boxes and I used different types of containers to store my container, to store the lids. And I came up with this product called Perfect Pockets. And it is a fabric organizer. Came in 3 different sizes. I wish I had it in front of me. It's probably on this shelf somewhere, but I didn't know we were going to talk about this. But the Perfect Pocket Organizer was like one of the best products I ever invented, because it organized all of my lids. I say Tupperware. We can get back to that, because I'm saying Tupperware, and that's a brand. It's plastic lids, right? So I'm giving some props to Tupperware. But anyway, so these plastic lids that I needed a space to, a place to organize them. So I came up with this 3-piece organizer fabric that I designed that day. It had loops on the sides for all of those spoons, those big spoons that you don't know where to put them, and made this a piece that was able to hang, stick to the inside of your cabinets. Let me tell you something. Within 90 days, this product was manufactured, pitched, and sold to QVC, and sold thousands of units within minutes. In minutes. So when you're asking me what my favorite one is, well, that made me the most money in the shortest space of time. So was that my favorite? Definitely. You have another question?
When did you know
I love this.
that this was your calling? Because this is a calling. This is a gift, by the way. Like, it's crazy for you to maybe think about it because it's your life and you're living it and it seems so natural. But for a lot of people, they aspire to be an entrepreneur. They aspire to find success in doing something. Like me. I've been just watching the Winter Olympics. I want to be an ice skater. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. But how did you know this was your calling? When did it click?
That's a great question. It clicked it clicked, I guess, when.
Did it ever click? And that's okay if it didn't.
It's still clicking. It doesn't stop clicking in my brain. It never stops clicking. It never stops clicking.
Let me ask you this then.
Uh-huh.
Do you realize how fortunate you are?
I do. I actually know how fortunate I am. I feel so blessed to do what I do every single day. I really do. I wake up every morning And I thank God for the space that I'm in, and just I feel so blessed to be able to do what I love so much for a living. I make money doing what I love.
And I know giving back is a huge thing for you.
It's giant.
Which is why AOE was created.
Yeah.
Let's touch on that.
It's giant. And I just want to say this, though, too. So I love to give back to people who give. And I knew that you were going to interview me today, and I started thinking about, I know the benevolence. You know, I love people who are benevolent and kind, and who love to give of themselves and their time. And the whole giving back thing is a whole nother topic, which we can address at a later date. I love giving to people who give. I love that. And I'll tell you why. People who give are typically not people who are given. So I love to meet those people who give of themselves. And this has nothing to do with money. Because there are people out there I know who are poverty-stricken, who don't have a pot, to piss in, or a window to throw it out of. And they're always giving. Those people I love to give to. I love to give to people who are passionate and kind, and who are dreamers, and who live in that dream, and who want to see that dream come true. I love to give to those people who are in that space. That's where AOE comes in. AOE, the Association of Women Inventors and Entrepreneurs, where we are able to bring in members who become mentors, who love to give of their time, their services, and share with other people how they've grown and built their own businesses, or are growing their own businesses. So, yeah, I mean, I just love the fact that I was birthed to do this art, this craft, to be able to invent, and to be able to take a look at people who are transparent and genuine. I love people who are transparent and genuine, and are not looking to take advantage of those givers who are out there. So getting back to loving to give to the givers. I love giving givers, because givers are typically taken advantage of. So I love to give those givers who give their heart and soul.
What does a typical day look like for you? You're super philanthropic, you're super innovative, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a mentor. What's going on, man? What does your day look like?
Wow.
Typical day.
So my day?
In the life of the inventress.
Okay. So what my day looks like is I get up super early. Usually I wake up at 3. And I try to put myself back to sleep, because there's all of these things, these processes coming into my brain. People I need to connect with the next day. So I wake up at 3 and I write things down. At 3 a.m., guys, I write everything down at 3 a.m. And I try to go back to sleep. I try to put myself back to sleep by through meditation and prayer. All right, so I fall asleep about 6 o'clock, and then I'll re-wake up at about 7:30 or 8 sometimes. And I get to the gym. But prior to getting to the gym, I'll make a juice. I start juicing, healthy juices, and then at that point I will, as I said, go to the gym. I go to the gym for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I connect. I connect with people. I connect with my clients, and I make myself available, and just constant. I work. I work from. I mean, we'll bring in the 3 a.m. thing, because that's really, I'll do emails at 3 a.m., as I said. 3 a.m., I do my emails, and I get all of those things off of my mental plate and put it into an email. So when you see emails coming from me at 3 a.m., I actually email people at 3 a.m. And I'm coming up with solutions to problems that happen for other people. So yeah, so when I wake up in the morning, I make my juice, get to the gym, do my meditation, do my prayer, and get back to work and get real excited. I get super excited about who I'm meeting that day. So typically I have consultations. I meet with people, I consult with people, they ask me all kinds of questions about how I'm doing what I do and inventing and all of that. And it's amazing. It's such a blessing to be able to do that. So all day long I consult. I go to QVC, I fly to HSN, I fly out to Evine Live, I go and meet with Bed Bath & Beyond, and I meet with all kinds of retailers. But the most exciting thing to me is I meet with clients like you who come to me with ideas and inventions, and I help you. I help you to tweak and redesign and just help you get your foot into any door you want to get into and help you build your business. You know, the biggest blessing to me is to be able to help you. Honestly, for you to become successful at what you do. And I know that that's my gift. I know it is. I honestly want to help you succeed at doing whatever it is that you desire as an entrepreneur, as an inventor. My biggest passion is to see you succeed. Help you fulfill that passion, that desire that you have to succeed. Because I know how hard it is. Nobody in my family was an inventor. Were my parents innovative? 100%. Oh, they were like, okay, Lisa, you're Jamaican. You need to get a college education, which I did. You need to become a scientist, a radiologist, a doctor. And my parents, believe me, are very proud of me for everything that I've accomplished, because I did all of those things. Yes. I went to college. Yes. I did all of the things that my parents expected me to do. But my passion was to invent. And thank you, Lord God, that they were around to see all of that. They were around to see me do everything that I've done on QVC television, connect with sharks from Shark Tank, hang out with the sharks in LA and connect with them and have relationships and it's amazing. But most importantly with you guys, you inventors. And my parents saw that, and I'm so grateful for that. Grateful to be in the space that I am in.
So this has been great. This has been awesome
Is it
talking
good?
with you. I'm so happy we got
cool.
to do this. But I do have a big question.
Sure.
I want to know what's next. What's next for AOE? What's next for Inventing A to Z? What's next for On the Couch? What's next?
There's always something
That's
next.
a loaded question.
You know it is, but I love it. And you know, you can never catch me off guard because you know there's always something that's next.
Yeah.
You know that better than anybody, Tara. What's next? So yes, we do have On the Couch guests coming up, and quite a grand list of folks coming up who want to be on the couch. In fact, I got a text message. I'll just say Ryan wants to be on the couch. So, and we have a few people who are going to be sitting on the couch. What's next? So we're working on some books, some television shows, and continuing to do the On the Couch thing that we love so much. Look, my face hurts when I think about On the Couch because all I do is laugh, like you guys do, when you watch On the Couch. So On the Couch is still happening. We have amazing guests coming up, television shows, interviews, blogs. Sign up as a member. Go to AOE, AOWIE.com. Sign up as a member and be involved with all of the upcoming events. We have a big event coming up on August 26th. That's a solid date. So that's Sunday, August 26th, 2018, with some incredible people, entertainers. You know we love to dance and sing. Get up and do your thing. So we got a lot happening over the next several months. And but look at our calendar. Go to the website, AOWIE.com, and also go to inventing, ATOZ.com. And by the way, those two websites are married. So if you hit on one, you'll get the other. So to answer your question, there's a lot happening. Puts a big smile on my face. Love all of the people who continuously connect with me and that I connect with. Barbara Cochran, I got to tell her, thank you so much for being such a big supporter, such an amazing woman. She's just such an inspiration. You talk about mentors. I mean, she's I love Barbara. She's genuine, she's sincere, and she loves to have a good time.
Quickly before we go,
Yes.
best way to reach you, best way to get in touch with you, set up a consultation, ask you a question, someone looking for mentorship. How can they find you?
Email me. Go to Lisa at inventingatoz.com. That's Lisa, Lisa, at inventing, INVENTING, A is an apple, T Thomas, O Oliver, Z Zebra.com. And I answer all of my emails. Go to my website, check it out, inventingatoz.com or AOWIE.com. And I'm right here for you. And what you need to do is subscribe. And there's probably going to be a subscribe button somewhere on YouTube, here, there, somewhere, up there, down there, to the side, to the left, to the left, to the left. But it's been great. I hope I answered all of your questions. I love this stuff.
One more thing.
Sure.
Favorite quote?
Oh my gosh. Lifting each other up 2 hands at a time. And sometimes you just got to use your foot. Love you.